I'm entitle this one Dads. And people, I wrote this book. The name of this book is When Dads Cry. I wrote the book and I named it When Dads Cry is to shine light on the pain, the absolute pain and hurt that fathers go through, the PTSD, the depression that fathers go through in the custody battle. People I've spoken to in my career, over 3 million men, whether it be streaming, radio, when I spoke at events. Out of the 3 million men that I spoke and had contact with, not the over 200,000 that I actually became a client, I've spoken to about 3 million men. Do you know not one man realized the scenario of understanding child support before me? No man realized that once you become a non-custodial dad, you are stripped of your rights. No man before me, before listening to me, that I've spoken to, that heard my words, understood the perspective of a non-custodial dad. And then I say, would you work at a non-custodial job? I mean, non-paying job. No. Why not? Because it ain't paying no money. Why would it pay money? Let me back that up. I asked them, would you work at a non-paying job? And they said, no. I said, why not? They said, why would I want to work at a job that's not paying any money? I said, there's no such thing as a job that doesn't pay any money. I said, jobs that don't pay money are not called jobs anymore. They're called an intern or volunteer. I need y'all to follow me. I eat yogurt. I'm here to tell you right now, fat yogurt tastes a hell of a lot better than non-fat. All right? It's just something about putting that fat in it makes it taste a whole lot better. I help them understand that in order to get a child support order, you must first have gotten a judgment that you've lost. So why is it that I wrote a book currently in production, Child Support Don't Do's, book after that, Family Court is Family's Graveyard. Why am I so engaged? I was talking to a woman today that had estrogen on full display. I must put that in there. Here's what I mean when I say had estrogen on full display. I told this woman that I didn't have a relationship with my daughter. And what she was so stuck on is not the programming that Atia Bradley did, but she was just stuck on my depiction or my perception, or let me back that up. She was stuck on the facts. And I think she was stuck on the facts because they were my belief of truth. Now, here's my belief of truth. Not only is it my belief of truth, a study was done. And because when I've done that study, I came up with the understanding daughters are programmed, sons are taught. So I was talking to a woman today, and today is the 20th of November, 2020. And I was speaking to a woman And this woman said, I truly think that after a child turns 18, that they are their own person. And I said, you haven't the slightest clue to think. I said, so is it your understanding that a child can be taught how to disrespect the father for 18 years, but once that child turns 18, that child will magically go, whoop, I'm going to respect my father. I said, you believe that? She said, I believe that a person has free will. I said, free will's got nothing to do with programming. And I said, so answer me this. How much time do you got in this discussion other than talking to me here today? She says, I have none. So why aren't you believing what I'm saying to you then? Why don't you believe it? She said, because that's your opinion. I said, no, it's not. It's a fact. I said, as a matter of fact, T.D. Jakes did a movie called Not Easily Broken. I said, if you watch that movie, you'll get an idea of what women can do and have done and is doing to daughters. Programming them with all kinds of stuff. It's done to sons too. But the thing with sons is, sons come quickly. Sons come around to believe this as something right here. Another story. I have a daughter. Let me back that up. I fathered a child. I was grand to my child. That meant nothing because what a woman wanted the child to hate me. A woman wanted the child. And it was easy to simply cry in front of the child and play on a child's remorse. So let me help you understand. And you individuals about to get mad at me. People, if you kick a dog, if a person has a dog and they kick that dog and they kick that dog and they kick that dog, then that dog get rescued. Do you think that the new owner will be able to walk up to that dog and say, hey, look at my shoes? You think that owner will be able to do that? You think that owner would be able to just walk up to that dog and say, hey, look at my shoes? And that dog would be like, oh, you only showing me your shoes. What's my point? My point is, people, I am proud of my career. I didn't go to school for this career. Nobody wanted to touch these issues that I talk about. Like Miss Ali said in her book, women want to treat these issues as if they're non-existent. I have to talk about the facts. You can't teach somebody blatant disrespect and then think that there's going to be respect at the end of the road. It's wishful thinking is giving it a compliment. If that's what you want to think, wishful thinking. Let me tell you a story about my dad's friend. My dad's friend went through the same thing. And like everybody's assumption is you and your daughter could now because the mom ain't got nothing to do with it. No, there's an allegiance to women. Let me back that up. There is an allegiance that women have. This is why a man can't talk about the pain and hurt that another woman did to him without that woman getting offended. This is why I was talking to the angry man some years back, and he was saying, man, I won't be able to deal with a woman. I'm going to end up dating a fan, because women just get offended when you hear them talking about what other women do. They attacked Sister Shahrazad Ali when she wrote her book, The Black Man's Guide to Understanding a Black Woman. My own mother, didn't care that her son was on the brink of taking his own life. Don't matter. Didn't care that her sons was at war. Don't matter. My mom just was itching to try to put me in my place. Haven't spoken to her since. People, I'm going to tell you something. Toxic is something I don't do. Now, please don't confuse my reaction to toxic as being toxic. Please don't. My defense, like I told individuals before, I have a love alarm. I have a love alarm. My love alarm protects me. Another story. Let me just put it to you in simple perspective. When a daughter is taught that her father is trash, there's no coming back from that. What I tell individuals, my clients, is that you need to talk about the issues that you have in with the mother. You need to talk about them in front of the child. That is your only hope. But the problem with this whole scenario is men are logical, and what we like to do is what thousands of my clients did. Hold on, Chris. I don't want to talk about this issue in front of the child, when that is not what fathers are afforded to on the other end. Fathers are not afforded that same perspective. They're not. What fathers get is they get talked about in front of the child, and by the mere fact you're fighting to be a father validates your weak position. The worst thing I could have ever did was fight for 1 second to be a father. 1 second. You can come up with all your narratives all you want. When a child sees a father fighting, that justifies and validates his worth. If I can give you an example, Todd Smith was my dad. I've never seen my dad say excuse me to anybody. My dad was Superman in the flesh. We had issues in the neighborhood. We lived in Elizabeth, New Jersey in the 70s. We were the only black neighbor. We were the only black people in the neighborhood. We used to get our bikes stolen. We used to get chased home by white boys. We used to go through hell as the only black children living in a white neighborhood in the 70s. I need y'all to follow me. When we got home, we ran straight past our father and ran to the covenants of our mother. My mother then gave the orders to Todd. Activate, go kick ass. We piled in my dad's car and we drove around the neighborhood till we found them. This happened 100% of the time. I watched my dad in action, and I made sure that when my daughter seen me in action, she got the same image. But when my dad did that, there was no counter. He was acting under the orders of my mother. I was stripped of that. It was the same thing that the slave masters did when they broke men down in front of the women. You're doing the same thing. See, the problem with a lot of people is they are under all these narratives and perspectives because they didn't go through it. They didn't go through it. You will have a different perspective about women when you had and went through a custody battle. You gonna. Other dudes may say they don't. They're lying to you. They're lying to you. If not, ask them, what type of stuff did your child's mom do to you? Let them say that and say, so that don't bother you at all? That don't affect you at all? Nah. Yes, it did. I'm not going to even get into that. People, we all have PTSD. Like I said, one guy kicks a dog. That dog get rescued. Then the new owner tries to show him his shoes. That dog thinks he's going to kick him again. Promise you that. My dad, I was telling y'all a story about my dad's friend. My dad's friend was going through the same stuff. He had no relationship with his daughter. His daughter calls him up when she's about 28 or so. He's like, yeah, she's out of her mother's covenants. They meet. He thought they hit it off. All of a sudden, he gets a letter to come in the mail about a month and a half later for child support. You see, when his daughter came around, she didn't come around under the love of a daughter to her wanting to be at one with her father. She was coming around under orders of the mother. Because there's a harmony of hurt. Like I said, I just don't understand. I've seen women borrow another woman's pain. I will never understand it. It's estrogen at its finest. I just will never understand how could a woman tell another woman all the stuff she's been through, and that other one, oh, come here, let me help. Oh, I just will never understand it. You can just go ahead. I will never understand it. But that on that scale is what daughters and mothers, that's what they have in common. So he goes to court. What have you been doing, Daddy? Where you been? So what type of, I want to get to know everything about you, Daddy. No, she was under the orders of her mother. My dad said when he left court, he left court with about $58,000 in arrears under the assumption of we had you calculated as something else. The daughter never came back around. People, I teach evasive action. You start going through a custody battle, first thing, exile your children out of your life. Create another life. Protect yourself. If you have a woman that was going to sit down there and say, how are we going to do this? And this and that, if anything other than that, protect yourself. Protect yourself. Like I said in my show that I did, relationship, as a man, it's questionable when you hear, oh, I've dated and anything other than we just grew apart. Questionable. I'm getting off topic. Don't hate me. But the amazing thing about when I was talking to that woman today, there was no acknowledgement of the fight that I had to go through to be a father. It was no acknowledgement. The only thing she was concerned with is my perspective. And then told me, I don't trust your information, your information pool. Yeah, that's what she said. I don't trust your information pool. I said, okay, so what would be an adequate information pool? What would be adequate? I don't know, but you can't stop talking. You don't even know, but you know you don't trust my information pool. Had I been talking about men and their sons, she probably would have agreed with me. People, I say it appropriately. Sons are taught, daughters are programmed. If you don't understand what I mean by that perspective, when you buy a cell phone, it's pre-programmed with stuff that the owner, whoever made the phone, Samsung, Apple, there are pre-programs in the phone. No matter what you do, you can't change that. Teaching a phone something are the apps. So you see, sons are logical. They're testosterone. That's why you can't program them with that nonsense. You can't. And then even when they are taught, they still proceed with caution. Sorry. People, we're not the same. Men and women were different. We're different. We're different. I never heard a man say, I'm just as good as a woman. Never heard that. But I hear women, oh, we just as good as men. Why are you saying that? Never seen Ford say the Ford Fusion, just as good as a Bentley in overall quality. It's different. It's different. It's different. Different. People, I often have people say to me, do you want another child? As much as I think I do, I know I don't. To be honest, I think I would like to have another child just to let a woman know I got a protocol in place for your bull games. Not for the sake of having a child. You see, I've been on the receiving end of a lot of assumptions of my love, the way I love, that is. A lot of individuals say, yeah, but what about the child? I can't worry about that. I'll kill myself. I have to save myself. It's all about me. Self-preservation. Sorry, I'm logical. I am often asked, yeah, but if your daughter come calling, would you? First of all, I don't do hypotheticals, but let's just allow a hypothetical at this moment. You're under the impression because you're ill-educated. I'm sorry, ill-educated. Let me say this. Men that never fought to be a father, mothers don't put the protocol in place of hate like they do men that fight. I think y'all need to know that. I'm glad I remembered this. Let me tell you something. When Atia, Bradley, and I broke up, I had 3 houses, I had a hot dog truck, I was flipping cars, and I was working at the post office. That's a tough act to follow. When you're that good, the hate got to be just as equal. So if a man doesn't fight to be a father, the mother's not going to sit down and be programming the children with all this hate. It's, your daddy wasn't around, we're going to be all right. Your daddy wasn't around. I just want to let you know how your dad. You know, when I've met women in the past, And they would say, I never told my children anything bad about their dad. I wanted them to see for themselves. That's because that you dealt with an individual that wasn't no good. Because I'm not going to believe that the second a man say I want equal custody, it's going to be okay. Let's just no. It's no. I need the upper hand. This is my baby. I don't believe that. I don't. So a man that was never around, I'm talking never, that child will yearn and thirst differently. It ain't the same. It ain't even close. When a man was interacting with his kid and fighting and interacting and fighting and it was in the child's life, it's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. It ain't even close. Those are the individuals that yearn. They want to walk down an aisle and they yearn for their fathers. The child that I helped give birth to will yearn for her father, but will keep it suppressed not to hurt her mother. You know why? Were you listening? Because she's programmed. I'm not going to do nothing to hurt mommy because she's already programmed. Any type of talking or interacting with me hurts her. And the funny thing is, I told that individual that, and it was like, nope, I'm not trying to hear that. Yeah, that may be true, but it stops at 18. So as soon as Atia Bradley's daughter blew the candles out, 18! Oh! What's the matter? I want to say hello to my dad. Dad, how that works? Let me tell you something. You know when you turn the light on, a roach hides. You may not believe this. Children are smart. Children can be playing with their mother. Playing with their mother. Oh, little Ray Ray Jr., spin around for mommy. Oh, yeah. Dabba, mommy. Oh, I know. You're about to get evicted. You ain't paid your damn rent in 6 months. Dabba, mommy. Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, mommy. Yeah. Go in your room and play, okay? Mommy will be in a minute. Okay, Ray Ray Jr. You know what that little kid will do? That little kid will go, Mommy was playing with me. Mommy was playing with me till she read the letter. We getting evicted. Not again. Nah, but what I'm simply saying is children read every interaction. Children read every change, every demeanor, every change in a woman's attitude. Children senses it. So this is what people don't realize. And when you understand that, when you get that, when you realize that, when you can add up all and everything in the pot before you open up your damn mouth with a narrative, Just remember the words that I spoke here tonight. Like, share, and subscribe, y'all.